So this is the myth I am asked to bust. Valuation of nature is a technical challenge, and finding the right technician will solve all your valuation problems, maybe. So valuation of nature implicitly or often explicitly is associated with money, with euros or dollars, and valuation is associated with putting a price tag on biodiversity. This is not wrong, but it's a bit like equating biodiversity to only birds. Birds are a part of biodiversity, but it's not everything. Money is a part of valuation, but it's by far not everything. So this is a snippet from the IPBES values assessment that shows the hierarchy of values. So what we value is actually rooted in our cultures and our worldviews and our knowledge systems who define our principles, our moral principles. These are values, broad values. These broad values define what we find important, specific values. Do we think biodiversity is important, natural resources, productivity? These are specific values. And then finally, how these are measured is with indicators. Number of birds, tons of carbon, euros are indicators. So when we talk about valuation, we need to take into account all these dimensions or these hierarchies of values. And when we want to decide what we want to value, we need to consider for whom we are valuing this and why we are valuing this. And this goes back to one of the presentations of the former session. And only then we can start thinking about how we will value nature. So this is a lot of discussion material, enough for hundreds of experts who spent 4 years in an IPBES methodological assessment to try to grasp this for policy. And thousands of valuation studies were evaluated. And these are 2 examples. So of all the valuation studies that we found globally, the most of them are carried out to improve the state of nature. And the biggest part, the remaining part, is conducted to improve human well-being or quality of life. And a small but growing section is also valuation that is conducted to improve justice. Concerning indicators, another illustration is, among all these thousands of studies, about half of the valuations are using biophysical indicators. Only 25% of the valuation studies use monetary indicators, and also 25% more or less are using social and cultural, so non-monetary indicators. There's lots of data like this in the IPBES assessment, but it gives you a view that valuation is much more than only monetary economic valuation for market purposes, which is actually even not appearing on the graph at your left. So how are these valuations conducted? Methods. Every discipline have their own different methods and their approaches, which they describe in their own different ways. And also every discipline have their own ways in evaluating what is a good valuation and not. So we have economic, sociocultural, biophysical, health, the word dropped off, and indigenous ways of valuing nature. And in the literature, we mainly find a lot of information on the problems and the challenges and blaming other disciplines for not doing a good job. But the advantage of this study is that we could bring everything together in 4 cross-disciplinary method families, and that the issues that are coming up with valuation of nature are actually very much shared between these disciplines. And using this assessment, we were able to define what are overarching qualities of a good valuation or a bad valuation, and what are steps to arrive at transformative valuation. I said it, transformation. I don't want to give like a watered down European Commission version of valuation, of transformation, sorry. It's very simple. We are degrading nature much faster than restoring it. The pace of degradation is going faster and faster despite all our efforts. And very importantly, the way we value nature plays a very big role in that. It's one of the main causes of what is happening today. So I will end with one of the things that came out of the assessment. It's that the 4 steps of valuation. You will see that this consists of a whole process from the first conception of why would we need to value until the implementation in policy. And what many people consider valuation is only step 4, selecting a method and conducting the valuation. This is part of a much bigger process. So the conclusion of this myth busting is after you have read all the recommended literature, that valuation of nature is a political rather than a technical challenge. Thanks.